Rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Savior was born on Christmas Day, to save us all from Satan's power when we were gone astray. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy.
Good evening. The story we'd like to tell tonight is a classic tale of Christmas, ghosts, and a legendary old miser named Scrooge. Most of you already know the story, courtesy of Charles Dickens, and so we would like to beg your pardon if we cut a couple of corners in the telling and sprinkle in occasional narratives, poems, and songs into the mix. Some old and familiar, some new and quite personal. You may have a little bell in your hands or pockets. Take them out and ring them now if you'd like. Don't get embarrassed if your bells ring from time to time during the show, though it would probably be best to keep them still when the actors are speaking. But when you hear actors ringing their bells, please join us and ring to your heart's delight.
Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy.
I heard the bells on Christmas Day, their old familiar carols play, and wild and sweet the words repeat of peace on earth, goodwill to men. Then from each black, accursed mouth the cannon thundered in the south, and with the sound the carols drowned of peace on earth, goodwill to men. It was as if an earthquake rent the hearthstones of a continent and made forlorn the households born of peace on earth, goodwill to men. And in despair I bowed my head. There is no peace on earth, I said, for hate is strong and mocks the song of peace on earth, goodwill to men. Then pealed the bells more loud and deep. God is not dead, nor doth he sleep. The wrong shall fail, the right prevail, with peace on earth, goodwill to men.
Picture this. It's 2008. All year long, my dad has been saying, it's going to be great in 2008. I thought it was pretty cheesy, but he ended up being right because my sister had written us a Christmas poem.
Jingle bells, jingle bells.
It's the middle of November, looking forward to December. My favorite time of year is here. Holiday anticipation marked by joyful expectation. I hear sleigh bells ringing, and it's time for carol singing. As the lyrics reappear to me, they bring back childhood memories.
Speaking of childhood memories, I vividly remember the day that I found out that, Santa Claus say usn't way eel ray.
What? Okay, he's kidding.
Anyways, I was 10 years old and I was running errands with my mom, and I realized that's a little late to be finding out, but I hadn't come across any hard evidence yet, and I still had that childish little thing called, hope. So we're running errands, and this was something that had been on my childhood heart for a long time now. I had thought of 1,000 different ways to prove to myself that it was true. I thought about taking an infrared camera and filming my living room all night long, or taking the half-eaten cookies down to the police station for DNA testing. However, due to some financial restrictions, I had to settle for something a little less extravagant. I just asked my mom. Now, when I have kids, I like to think that when they come to me with something like this, I'll at least play along and put in a little effort. My mom straight up said, "Did your brother tell you?" Oh, that hit me like a ton of bricks. The walls of my childhood were crumbling down. I was forming trust issues that would define my teenage years. But I simultaneously realized that that was only something a little baby would get upset about. So I bottled up those emotions and shoved them way deep down. I just said, "Yeah, he told me." A lot of healthy growth happened that day. But my sister still doesn't know, so.
I'll be home for Christmas is now one of my wishes. It would be a blessing just to check that off my wish list. And oh, 'twas the night before the rush to finish Christmas chores. None were sleeping or were quiet, too hard not to be excited. Get dressed for Christmas morning church, but gotta check my stocking first. Overwhelmed with joy and cheer, speaking about the true reason for the Advent Christmas season.
Woo! Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh.
The moments I remember from my childhood, my favorite memories, are usually the little moments. Those hidden, private, tender-hearted moments. Gathering holly with my brother or helping mother bring in the store of potatoes. Standing tiptoe on a stool so that I can reach the spices in the pantry. That is joy. But then I grew older, and though the holidays were filled with the same sweet anticipation, there was also distress. Who would travel the long miles home? What dear friend or relation have we lost since last year? Will there be enough to provide good cheer for our family and a few of our neighbors in need? And then, a child of my own to worry over, and the painful loss of my brother's attentions as he grew ever more distant from our family. But the memory of one special Christmas always brings back the feelings of peace and a glad heart. Everyone was home, mother at the stove, father reading the paper, and I was sent on my own special mission to bring home my brother, Ebenezer, from school. That was the year we laughed again. Playing, doing errands, finding mischief of one sort or the other. One last year of the unforgettable joys of childhood. I never wanted that to end.
Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, oh, tidings of comfort and joy. Now to the Lord sing praises, all you within this place, and with true love and brotherhood each other now embrace. This holy child of Christmas shall fill our hearts with grace. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, oh, tidings of comfort and joy.
Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la. 'Tis
Bah,
the season
humbug.
to be jolly, fa la 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 la.
Oh, but he was a tight-fisted hand at the grindstone, Scrooge. A squeezing, wrenching, grasping, scraping, clutching, covetous old sinner.
A Merry Christmas, Uncle. God save you.
Bah, humbug, Merry Christmas. What reason have you to be merry? You're poor enough.
Well, come then. What reason have you to be morose? You're rich enough?
Ha! Humbug.
Uncle,
Nephew, keep Christmas in your own way. Much good may it do you. Much good it has ever done you.
I've always thought of Christmas time as a good time, as a kind, forgiving, pleasant, charitable time. The only time I know of in the long history of the year when men and women seem by one consent to open their shut-up hearts freely and look at people beneath them as if they really were fellow passengers to the grave. And so therefore, Uncle, though it has never put a scrap of gold or silver in my pocket, I believe it has done me good, and that it will do me good. And I say, God bless it!
Let me hear another sound from you and you'll keep your Christmas by losing your situation.
Don't be angry, Uncle. Come, dine with us tomorrow.
Good afternoon.
I ask nothing from you. I want nothing of you.
Good afternoon.
Well, it hurts my heart to find you so resolute, but I'll keep my good Christmas humor till the last. So a Merry Christmas, Uncle.
Good afternoon.
And a Happy New Year.
Good afternoon.
And a Merry Christmas to you as well, Bob.
And a very Merry Christmas to you too, sir.
There's another fellow, my clerk, with 15 shillings a week and a wife and family, talking about a Merry Christmas. I'll retire to Bedlam.
Have I the pleasure of addressing Mr. Scrooge or Mr. Marley?
Mr. Marley has been dead these 7 years. He died 7 years ago this very night.
We have no doubt his liberality is well represented by his surviving partner.
At this festive season of the year, Mr. Scrooge, we hope to make some slight provisions for the poor and destitute who suffer greatly at the present time. What shall I put you down for?
Nothing.
You wish to be anonymous?
I wish to be left alone. Since that is what you ask, that is my answer. I don't make merry myself at Christmas, and I can't afford to make idle people merry. I work to support the prisons and workhouses. They cost enough, and those who are badly off must go there.
Many can't go there, and many would rather die.
If they had rather die, they had better do it and decrease the surplus population. Good afternoon, gentlemen.
Good day, sir.
Mr. Scrooge.
Good King Wenceslas looked out on the feast of
Bah!
Stephen,
Humbug!
when the snow lay round about, deep and crisp and even, brightly shone the
You'll want all day tomorrow, I suppose.
If quite convenient, sir.
It's not convenient and it's not fair. If I was to stop half a crown for it, you'd think yourself ill-used, I'll be bound. And yet you don't think me ill-used when I pay a day's wages for no work.
It's only once a year, Mr. Scrooge.
A poor excuse for picking a man's pocket every 25th of December. Be here all the earlier the next morning.
Yes, Mr. Scrooge. I certainly will, Mr. Scrooge. And a Merry Christmas.
Bah! Humbug!
Little Tim,
Father!
have you been to the church today?
Yes, Father.
Well then, how about I give you a ride home? There we go. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Scrooge went home to bed. He lived in a gloomy house which had once belonged to his deceased partner, Jacob Marley. For old Marley was as dead as a doornail.
Speaking of doors, there wasn't anything at all particular about the knocker on Scrooge's door.
And yet it happened that Scrooge, having his key and the lock of the door, saw in place of the knocker.
Bah! Humbug!
Old Scrooge took off his cravat. He then put on his dressing gown and slippers and his nightcap. He then took several turns about the room before sitting down before the fire.
Bah! Humbug! It's humbug still. I won't believe it. What do you want with me? Who are you?
In life, I was your partner, Jacob Marley. Why do you doubt your senses?
Because a little thing affects them. You may be an undigested bit of beef or an underdone potato. There's more of gravy than of grave about you, whatever you are. Humbug! Mercy! Dreadful apparition! Why do you trouble me? Why do you wear these chains?
I bear the chain I forged in life. I made it link by link, yard by yard. Would you know the weight and length of the strong chain you bear yourself? It was full as heavy and as long as this 7 Christmas Eves ago. You have labored on it since. It is a ponderous chain.
Oh, Jacob Marley, speak comfort to me, Jacob.
I have none to give. I cannot stay. I cannot rest. I cannot linger anywhere. In life, my spirit never roved beyond the narrow limits of our counting house. Why did I walk through crowds of my fellow beings with my eyes turned down?
But you are always a good man of business, Jacob.
Business! Mankind was my business! The common welfare was was my business. Charity, mercy, and benevolence were all my business. The dealings of my trade were but a drop of water in the comprehensive ocean of my business. Hear me. My time is nearly gone. I am here to warn you of a chance to escape my fate. You will be visited by 3 spirits. Expect the first tomorrow when the bell tolls 1.
Couldn't I take them all at once and have it over, Jacob?
Expect the second on the next night at the same hour. The third upon the next night when the last stroke of 12 has ceased to vibrate. Look to see me no more, and remember what has passed between us.
Driving to work every day in December, I pass a woman on a corner with a cardboard sign, reaching out to every passing car, pleading for help and offering blessings, whether or not anyone rolls down their window to answer. People rarely do. I never do. I don't know who she is or what she does with the little money she gets. I don't know how she lives. Is it even my business?
I used to say hello every evening to the man who cleans the floors at our offices. He retired last year or had to quit for his health. I'm not sure which. I heard his wife passed away this Christmas. I don't think he has children. I haven't said hello since last year. I'm not sure if he has anyone to check in on him or make sure if he's all right. I don't think it's my business.
The family down the street from me moved out just before Christmas. Their kids would trick-or-treat our house on Halloween. Their parents were always working on a car on their front lawn, and I waved when I passed by my morning jog. I don't know why they moved out or why most of their furniture ended up on the side of the street after they left. It's really none of my business, though.
I got this dress on sale last Christmas and I'm wearing it again this season. It was made in a country that I've never been to, but I read somewhere that forced laborers and even children were found in the supply chain of this company, farming the textiles, spinning the thread, cutting the fabric. I wonder if children made this. It's 9 o'clock in the morning there. They could be working right now.
Quarter past? Half past? Quarter to it? The hour itself. And nothing else. Are you the spirit whose coming was foretold me?
I am.
Who and what are you?
I am the ghost of Christmas past.
Long past?
No, your past.
What business brought you here?
Your welfare.
I'm much obliged, but I can't help but thinking that a night of unbroken rest might have been much more conducive to that end.
Rise and walk with me.
I am a mortal and liable to fall.
Bear but a touch of my hand. There. And you shall be upheld in more than this.
Good heavens! I was bred in this place. I was a boy here.
Do you recollect the way?
Remember it. I could walk it blindfold.
The school is not quite deserted. A solitary child, neglected by his friends, is left there still. Poor boy, let us see another Christmas.
Dear brother, I've come to bring you home, dear brother, to bring you home. Home, home.
Home, little fan?
Yes, call home forever and ever. Father is so much kinder than he used to be. That home is like heaven. He spoke so gently to me one dear night that I was not afraid to ask him once more if you might come home. And he said, "Yes, you should." And he sent me in a coach to bring you, and you are to be a man.
You are quite a woman, little fan.
Then come with me. Your bags are packed and the coach is waiting.
Always a delicate creature, but she had a large heart.
So she had. You're right, I will not gainsay it, Spirit. God forbid.
She died a woman and had, as I think, children.
One child.
True. Your nephew.
Yes.
Come and see. Do you know this warehouse?
No, I was apprenticed here. Why, it's old Fezziwig. Bless his heart, Fezziwig, alive again.
Yo-ho there, Ebenezer. Yo-ho, my boy. No more work tonight. Christmas Eve. Christmas, Ebenezer. Let's have the shutters up before a man can say, Jack Robinson. Helio, clear away, my lads. Oh, my lasses. And let's have lots of room here. Helio, cheer up. Oh, Ebenezer, bring out the roast. Bring out the boiled, the mince pies, and plenty of beer. And now welcome in your friends and family. And bring on the music for dancing. Hello.
I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day in the morning. I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day, on Christmas Day. I saw 3 ships come sailing in on Christmas Day in the morning.
A small matter to make these silly folks so full of gratitude.
Small?
He has spent but a few pounds of your mortal money. 3 or 4, perhaps. Is that so much that he deserves your praise?
It isn't that, Spirit, it isn't that. He has the power to make our service light or burdensome, a pleasure or a toil. The happiness he gives is quite as great as if it costs a fortune.
My time grows short. Look.
Ebenezer, it matters little to you. Very little that another idol has displaced me. A golden idol.
The world is hard on poverty, and yet it condemns the pursuit of wealth.
You fear the world too much. Greed engrosses you. Our contract was made when we were both poor and content to be so. You are changed. When it was made, you were another man.
I was a boy.
You were not what you are.
I am not changed towards you. Am I?
In words, no.
In what then?
In everything that made my love of any worth or value in your sight. If this had never been between us, tell me, would you seek me out and try to win me now? If you were free today, tomorrow, yesterday, can even I believe that you would choose a dowerless girl, you who in your very confidence with her weigh everything by greed? I release you. My heart full for the love of him you once were. May you be happy in the life that you have chosen.
Spirit, show me no more. Conduct me home.
These are shadows of the things that have been. That they are what they are. Do not blame me.
Leave me. I cannot bear it. Haunt me no longer.
One day I won't forget is the day we met. December 25th, my little Christmas gift. They handed you to me, and my heart grew times 3. I felt both young and old. I cried, or so I'm told. I'll be honest, I was scared, felt so unprepared for this. You look so pure, how could I be sure I could feed this child and lead this child, protect this child, not wreck this child, and be all that he needs me to be? So I just said what my dad said to me. He said, my child, I'm gonna love you a while. I wanna give it my best go to show you all that I know. Don't doubt, I'm gonna figure this out. Though I've just begun, I'm here for the long run. Oh, 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 la 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 la.
My childhood gave me the unique experience of being raised celebrating both Christmas and Hanukkah. Because of this, I often felt different from my friends who only celebrated one or the other. Of course, having a full month of presents definitely didn't make me feel bad. As a kid, the entire month of December just felt like endless gifts, with 8 consecutive days at some point in the month, then Christmas presents, and then a week later, my birthday. One year, I got really lucky. After services on Christmas Eve, my family drove around looking at Christmas lights before going home to light the menorah for the first night of Hanukkah. Then, finally, a week later, I got to open my last Hanukkah gift with all my friends around me to help celebrate my birthday and to ring in the new year. I loved the season. Time off school, family togetherness, getting the perfect gift, and, of course, the slight chance of a Texas snowstorm. I think that if I have kids, I'd like to give them the same experience.
I never wanted to bring the mood down when people ask me, are you excited for Christmas this year? Again and again. Imagine you had to cook the ham by yourself, put the Christmas tree up alone, dry the tears of mama every Noche Buena. Put up each stocking and realize his wasn't going to get opened that year or the next. I thought about him at work, and the holiday season in retail is always beyond stressful. My family had to make more to make ends meet because the money wasn't coming in the same with him gone, and before you knew it, there I was, crying in the bathroom again. The day just replayed in my head. Handcuffs, clicking, sirens, wailing. Everything turned into nothing. If I could have taken my citizenship papers, wrapped them up, and addressed them to you, I would have a long time ago. I still hate the cold. I still hate ice. I would put logs in the fireplace like we always used to. But it just wasn't the same. The first Christmas felt cold without you.
Sundays too. My father got up early and put his clothes on in the blue-black cold. Then, with cracked hands that ached from labor in the weekday weather, made banked fires blaze. No one ever thanked him. I'd wake and hear the cold splintering, breaking. When the rooms were warm, he'd call, and slowly I'd rise and dress, fearing the chronic angers of that house. Speaking indifferently to him, who had driven out the cold and polished my good shoes as well. What did I know? What did I know of love's austere and lonely offices?
Deck the halls with boughs of holly, fa la 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 la.
know me better, man. I am the ghost of Christmas present. Look upon me. Have you never seen the like of me before? Never walked forth with the younger members of my family?
I can't say I have. Have you had many brothers and sisters, Spirit?
More than 1,800.
A tremendous family to provide for. Spirit, conduct me where you will. Tonight, if you have aught to teach me, let me profit by it.
Then we'll be off to bless a Christmas dinner.
To a particular dinner?
To any dinner kindly given. To a poor one most.
Why to a poor one most?
Because it needs it most. Touch my robe. It's so nice to see you. You know what? Let's all drive. Let's all drive. Don't tell Mother. Don't tell Mother that I'm at the table. Okay? Don't tell her. Don't tell her. Don't tell her.
Whose poorhouse is this, Spirit?
Do you not recognize the home of your own poor clerk, Bob Cratchit?
What has ever got your precious father then? And your brother Tiny Tim? And your sister Martha?
Here's Martha, mother!
Oh, why bless your heart! Alive, my dear! How late you are.
Oh, we had a deal of work to finish up last night, Mother, and had to clear away this morning.
Well, never mind, so long as you are come. Lord bless you.
Look, there's Father!
Hello, children. Why? Where's Martha?
Not coming.
Not coming? Not coming upon Christmas Day?
Here's Martha, father!
Of course I wouldn't miss Christmas dinner.
Of course.
You must see the goose. Oh, I'll go get it.
And how did little Tim behave?
Oh, as good as gold. And better. He gets so thoughtful, sitting by himself so much, and thinks the strangest things you've ever heard. He told me, coming home, that he hoped the people saw him in the church because he was a cripple, and it might be good for them to remember upon Christmas Day who made lame beggars walk and blind men see.
Look, I have the goose.
Thank you, Martha.
Ready?
There never was such a goose. I don't believe there ever was such a goose cooked. Merry Christmas to us all, my dears, and God bless us.
God bless us, everyone.
Spirit, tell me if Tiny Tim will live.
I see a vacant seat and a crutch without an owner carefully preserved. If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, the child will die.
No, oh no, kind Spirit, say he will be spared.
If these shadows remain unaltered by the future, none other of my race will find him here. What then? If he be like to die, he had better do it, and decrease the surplus population. Will you decide what men shall live, what men shall die? It may be in the sight of heaven. You are more worthless and less fit to live than millions like this poor man's child.
Mr. Scrooge, I give you Mr. Scrooge, the founder of the feast.
The founder of the feast, indeed. I wish I had him here. I'd give him a piece of my mind to feast upon. Why should we drink the health of such an odious, stingy, hard, unfeeling man as Mr. Scrooge? But I'll drink his health for your sake and the day's. A very Merry Christmas to him and a Happy New Year. He'll be very merry and he'll be very happy, I have no doubt.
To Mr. Scrooge.
Frederick!
My nephew, Fred! He said that Christmas was a humbug. As I lived, and he believed it too.
More shame for him, Fred.
Hey, he's a comical old fellow, that's the truth, and not as pleasant as he might be. But his offenses carry their own punishment. I have nothing to say against him.
I'm sure he's very rich, Fred. At least you always tell me so.
Well, what of it, my dear? His wealth is of no use to him. He don't do any good with it. He don't make himself comfortable with it. He takes into his head to dislike us, and he won't come to dine with us. Well, what's the consequence?
I think he loses a very good dinner.
Very true. Well, I intend to give him the same chance every year, whether he likes it or not. He may rail at Christmas till he dies, but I'll hound him in good temper, year after year, with a Merry Christmas and a come to dinner. He has given us plenty of merriment. I am sure it would be ungrateful not to drink to his health. Here's a glass of mulled wine to my hand, ready at the moment, and I say, Uncle Scrooge! Uncle Scrooge! A Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to the old man, whatever he is.
For he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, for he's a jolly good fellow, which nobody can deny.
My time is nearly done, Ebenezer Scrooge.
Are spirits' lives so short?
My life upon this globe is very brief. It ends tonight.
Tonight?
Tonight at midnight. The time is drawing near.
Forgive me, spirit, but I see something strange and not belonging to yourself protruding from your robe. Is it real or but a shadow?
It may be a shadow, for all the flesh there is upon it. See here.
Spirit, are they your children?
They are humanities, though they cling to me. This boy is ignorance. This girl is want. Beware them both and all of their degree, but most of all beware this boy. For on his brow I see that written which is doom, unless the writing be erased. Deny it.
Have they no refuge? A resource?
Are there no prisons? Are there no workhouses?
You were my little stud, became my snuggle bud. We took so many naps, how the time went by so fast. On the day I went back to work, I got the call and everything blurred. The doctor's words echoed in my ears. I'm sorry, sir, we give him 5 years. 5 years, 5 years, there's nothing that we can do. 5 years, 5 years, I rush back home to you. Your mom was there with you in her arms. I didn't know what to say. She looked at me with tears in her eyes. She said, "It's gonna be okay, because this child, we're gonna love him a while. Don't know what's ahead, just hold on to me instead. Don't doubt, we're gonna figure this out. We still have our son, so God bless us, everyone. Oh, whoa, la 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 la. Oh, whoa, la 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 la.
Sometimes I wonder if the people around me actually care about me or if they just like having me around because of the things I do for them. And it's not like people are always asking me for favors or anything, but every once in a while I just get this pit in my stomach and I think about how long it's been since I felt like I belonged. Maybe it's some kind of seasonal depression, I don't know. Every year around the holidays, I host a get-together, and the few people who actually show up seem to have a good time, but then I don't hear from them until I invite them out again next year. And I know that people get busy or they like spending time with other friend groups, but every once in a while it would be nice to feel included, to feel like the people around me actually care that I'm here. I want to feel like if I just decided to leave one Christmas, that somebody would actually notice.
It felt like Christmas. I woke up early, went downstairs, up to my mom, and I said, "Where's Dad been?" And she's usually a wall. She doesn't give anything. But in that moment, I had never seen her so open. It was Christmas when she read my college essay. She got so mad. My dad's a great man. To be fair, it wasn't a good essay. But he was. Don't be afraid to think that either. Besides, it'll hurt him a lot more than her if you don't.
My mother, ah, she loves Christmas. But her Christmases started to change when they should have become constant. Christmas now is a toss-up. If she has Christmas on her list, custody list, that is. That year is just like Christmas past, full of sleepy-eyed yet somehow still energetic kiddos gifting their mom Christmas spirit in their laughter and their smiles. But with divorce, our presence comes only every other year. Christmas can be joyful, but it can also be bereft, depending on that year. We are my mother's Christmas presents, but we aren't always present. To the divorced parents on Christmas, you are here. You are present.
It's been said that ignorance is bliss. But I think that phrase took a swing and missed. Because so often the ignorance we see and hear seems to stem directly from fear. Fear of knowledge and change and what may come next. From both sides of the aisle, right and left. Mother, help us as we walk in confusion, pointing fingers, spewing hate-filled abuse, and forgetting to speak out of love for fear of rejection. Father, help us, we ask for your protection. There's more to learn if only we allow it. We should listen to more than just those who shout the loudest.
I'm in the presence of the ghost of Christmas yet to come. You are about to show me the shadows of the things that have not happened, but will happen in the time before us. Is that so, Spirit? Oh, ghost of the future, I fear you more than any specter I have yet seen. But as I know your purpose is to do me good, and as I hope to be another man from what I was, I am prepared to bear you company. Will you not speak to me? Lead on. The night is waning fast, and it is precious time to me, I know. Lead on, Spirit.
I don't know either way. I only know he's dead.
When did he die?
Last night, I believe.
Why? What was the matter with him? I thought he'd never die.
Heaven knows.
Oh, it's likely to be a very cheap funeral, for upon my life, I don't know of anyone to go to it. Suppose we make up a party and volunteer?
I don't mind going if lunch is provided, but I must be fed if I am to go.
If he wanted to keep him after he was dead, a wicked old screw, why wasn't he kinder-hearted in his lifetime? Yeah, if he had been, he'd have had somebody to look after him when he was struck with death, instead of lying and gasping out his last there alone.
Oh, it's the truest word that was ever spoke.
Open that bundle and let me know the value of it. Speak out plain. You know pretty well I was helping myself, I believe. It's no sin.
Bed curtains? You don't mean to say you took him down, rings and all, with him lying there, do you?
Yes, I do. And why not? I certainly shan't hold my hand for the sake of such a man as he was.
His blankets?
Who else is do you think? He isn't likely to take cold without him, I dare say.
Oh, I hope he didn't die of anything catching, eh?
That shirt is the best he had, and a fine one, too. He'd have wasted it if it hadn't been for me.
What do you call wasting of it?
Putting him in it to be buried in, to be sure. Yeah, somebody was fool enough to do it, but I took it off again. He can't look any uglier than he did before. You see, he frightened every one of us away from him when he was alive to profit us when he was dead.
Spirit, I see. I see. The case of this unhappy man might be my own. My life tends that way now. Spirit, If there is any person who feels emotion caused by this man's death, show that person to me, Spirit, I beseech you.
Well, old Scratch got his own at last, eh?
So he has. So he has. Cold, isn't it?
Seasonable for Christmas time.
What has he done with his money?
I haven't heard. Left it to his company, perhaps?
Hmm?
He hasn't left it to me, that's all I know.
Before I draw nearer to that stone to which you point, tell me, Spirit, am I that man who lies within? This is a fearful place, Spirit. In leaving it, I shall not leave its lesson. Trust me, let us go. I understand you, and I would do it if I could, but I have not the power, Spirit. I have not the power. Show me some tenderness connected with the death, or this dark churchyard will be forever present to me.
I have known your father to walk with Tiny Tim upon his shoulders, very lightly indeed.
And so have I. Often.
But he was so light to carry, and his father loved him so that it was no trouble.
Look, here comes Father now.
You went today then, Robert?
Yes, my dear. I wish you could have gone. It would have done you good to see how green a place it is. I promised him that I would walk there on a Sunday. My little child. My little child. I saw Mr. Scrooge's nephew today, and he was extraordinarily kind. He met me in the street, and seeing that I looked just a little down, you know, he looked at me and said, I am heartily sorry for it, Mr. Cratchit, and heartily sorry for your good wife. By the by, how he ever knew that, I don't know.
Knew what, my dear?
Why, that you were a good wife.
Everybody knows that.
Very well observed, my girl.
I'm sure he's a good soul. And I'm sure Martha will be finding someone and setting up for herself someday soon.
Oh, Mother.
Now, my dears, however and whenever we decide to part from one another, I am sure we shall none of us forget poor Tiny Tim, shall we? Or this first parting that there was among us?
Never, Father.
And I know when we recollect how patient and how mild he was, although he was a little child, we shall not quarrel easily amongst ourselves, will we? And forget poor Tiny Tim in doing it?
No, never, Father.
I am very happy. I am very happy.
Spectre, answer me one question. Are these the shadows of the things that will be, or the shadows of the things that may be only? Spirit, hear me. I am not the man I was. I will not be the man I would have been but for this night. Why show me this if I am past all hope? I will honor Christmas in my heart. Try to keep it all the year. I will live in the past, the present, and the future. The spirits of all three shall strive within me, and I will not shut out the lessons that they teach. Oh, tell me that I may sponge away Tiny Tim's name from this stone.
Every year at Christmas time, my entire family gets together for 3 whole days to celebrate this sweet season. And oh, what a time it is! And one massive factor that makes this weekend possible and so filled with joy is my grandmother, Lovey. Oh, Lovey. I truly think she's an angel. But a few days ago, I got a call from my mom informing me that Lovey has COVID 19 and is considered very high risk. Lovey is my biggest cheerleader. She's the person I aspire to be like most in this life. And Lovey is my best friend. I don't know what these next few weeks will look like for Lovey's health. But how am I supposed to ever imagine a Christmas or a single moment of my life without her?
My parents tried to shield me from the harsh realities of the world for as long as they could, and I wish they could have for longer. But that is not the way the world works. Sometimes ignorance is bliss, and in the eyes of a young child, Christmas is a time of wonder and joy. But with age comes a certain type of understanding and solemnness for what is gone. I never used to understand why my parents would cry every Christmas Eve service when the congregation would sing Silent Night by candlelight. I don't think I ever will. But it's one of those things that we keep in a nicely wrapped box. A box that we try our best to keep tucked away. I love Christmas. I do. I love the music, the sparkling lights, the smell of it, pine trees and sweet candy. I love it. I always have. But why does it feel different? You know, I associate Christmas with this warm, fuzzy feeling. And every year I feel that, but it's as if some of that jolly warmth is now sharing space with something else. So what changed? Is it because I grew out of Christmas toys? Or because I caught the flu that one year and it's now tainted the memory of eggnog? Is it because my grandma's cookies weren't at the table last year and I felt sick eating anything else? Or is it because I lost someone and not having them around on Christmas makes everything feel wrong? I have the scorching image in my brain of my family at the dinner table on Christmas. She's not there. We all know that. As I look around, I have this desperate urge to cry or scream or run 5 miles. It's in my throat, and I can feel it crawling its way to the surface. Then I hear whimpering. Low and quiet. I turn to see my dad sobbing at the head of the table. I can't get rid of that picture. I can't forget it.
I've pictured this day a million different ways. I wish that I could say I'm ready, but I'm not. Through the years I've begged and I've prayed that the Lord would take this away. But somehow today still arrived. Honestly, I can't tell you why. What I do know is that when I look back on these years, they won't be clouded with memory of misery, but of your joyous laughter, of your mischievous personality that you obviously inherited from your mother, of your unwavering optimism in the face of your doctor's appointments where they had you hooked up to endless tubes and machines and you could still laugh at my fart jokes. Sometimes I think you've lived a fuller life than I have. And you've taught me so much. You have a maturity beyond your years, a grace in situations beyond your control. But most importantly, you've taught me how to love more deeply and more thoroughly than I ever thought possible. Truly love without time limits. Child, I'm gonna love you a while. Even when you're gone, your legacy will live on. Don't doubt, I'm gonna carry it out. My whole life long, this will be my song. Oh, whoa, la 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 la. Oh, whoa, la 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 la.
Ring out, wild bells, to the wild sky. The frosty cloud, the flying light. The year is dying in the night. Ring out, wild bells, and let him die.
Ring out false pride and place in blood, the civic slander and the spite. Ring in the love of truth and right. Ring in the common love of good.
Ring out old shapes of foul disease. Ring out the narrowing lust of gold. Ring out the 1,000 wars of old. Ring in the 1,000 years of peace.
Ring in the valiant man and free.
The larger heart, the kindlier hand.
Ring out the darkness of the land.
Ring in the Christ that is to be.
Spirit, I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year. Spirit shall strive within me, and I will not shut out the lessons that they teach. I am not the man I was. Why show me this if I am past all hope? I'm still here, in my old room, with my old bed. Oh, heaven and the Christmas time be praised. I say it on my knees, on my knees. I don't know how long I've been among the spirits. I don't know anything. What's today? What's today, my fine neighbor?
Today? Why, it's Christmas Day.
Christmas Day. I haven't missed it. The spirits have done it all in one night. They can do whatever they like. Of course they can. Of course they can. Hello, my fine friend.
Hello.
Do you know the grocers in the next street?
I should hope I did.
Intelligent girl. Remarkable. Do you know whether they've sold the prize turkey that was hanging up there?
What? The one as big as me?
What a delightful child. It's a pleasure to talk to her. Yes, the one as big as you.
It's hanging there now.
Is it? Go and buy it. Tell them to bring it here, that I may give them the direction where to take it. Come back with the grocer and I'll give you a shilling. Come back in less than 5 minutes and I'll give you half a crown. I shall send it to Bob Cratchit's. He shan't know who sent it. It's twice the size of Tiny Tim. Here's the turkey. Hello, how are you? Merry Christmas.
Thank you, sir.
Merry Christmas. Why, it's impossible to carry that to Camden Town. You must have a cab.
Thank you very much, Mr. Scrooge.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, sir.
My friends, my good friends.
Oh, Mr. Scrooge.
Yes, that is my name, and I'm afraid it may not be pleasant to you. I must beg your forgiveness, and if you will, have the goodness.
Lord bless me.
My dear Mr. Scrooge, are you serious?
If you please, not a farthing less. A great many back payments are included, I assure you. Will you accept it?
We will, of course.
I am much indebted to you. I thank you 50 times. Bless you.
Merry Christmas.
Now for a little courage. A little courage to knock at the door. Is your husband home, my dear?
Why, he's right here, sir.
Fred!
Bless my soul, it's
It's I, your Uncle Scrooge. I've come to dinner. Will you let me in?
Let him in. Let him in. He was at home in 5 minutes. Nothing could be heartier. A wonderful dinner, a wonderful party, wonderful happiness.
But he was early at the office the next morning. Oh, he was early there. If only he could catch Bob Cratchit coming in late. That was the thing he had set his heart upon.
The clock struck 9. No Bob. A quarter past. No Bob. He was a full 18 minutes and a half behind his time.
His hat was off before he opened the door. His comforter, too. He was on his stool in a jiffy, driving away with his pen.
Hello. What do you mean by coming in here at this time of day?
Sir, I am so sorry. I am behind my time. It's only once a year, sir. It will not be repeated. I was making rather merry yesterday, sir.
Now I'll tell you what. I won't stand for this sort of behavior any longer.
Sir, please.
Therefore,
Sir, I beg you.
Therefore, I'm going to raise your salary. A Merry Christmas, Bob. Merry Christmas, Bob, my good friend that I've given you for many a year. I'll raise your salary and assist your family, and we'll discuss your affairs this afternoon over a Christmas bowl of smoking bishop. Now, let's make up the fires. Go buy another coal scuttle on my penny before you dot another I, Bob Cratchit.
Scrooge was better than his word. He did it all and infinitely more.
And to Tiny Tim, who did not die. He was a second father. He became as good a friend, as good a neighbor, and as good a man as the good old city knew.
Some people laughed to see the change in him, and he let them laugh, for his own heart laughed, and that was quite enough for him. We are so grateful you chose to spend time with us tonight, to share in this story and in all of our other stories, some familiar, some deeply personal, but offered in the hope that what we share at Christmas time is so much greater than what divides us.
And it was always said of Scrooge that he knew how to keep Christmas well if any man alive possessed the knowledge. And may that be truly said of us, and of all of us. And so, as Tiny Tim observed,
God bless us, everyone.
God rest ye merry gentlemen, let nothing you dismay. Remember Christ our Savior was born on Christmas Day, to save us all from Satan's power when we were gone astray. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy, comfort and joy. Oh, tidings of comfort and joy. We wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas, we wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin, good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. Oh, bring us a figgy pudding, oh, bring us a figgy pudding, oh, bring us a figgy pudding and a cup of good cheer. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin, good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year. We won't go until we get some, we won't go until we get some, we won't go until we get some, so bring some right here. Good tidings we bring to you and your kin, good tidings for Christmas and a Happy New Year.